So here's the story of how I met my college family. Freshman year of college, my best friend and I tried out for something called the PUC Vocal Octet, led by this man right here, Dr. Chun Study. Luckily, we made it in, and we met 7 people that would change our lives. We didn't really know them at the time, but they became family later on.
Sing Noel, for Christ the King is born. Sing glory to God, for Christ the King is born.
Just like any other group, we started out practicing together. Even though we didn't know each other well, it was still a lot of fun. But that was pretty much the extent of our relationship, practice and church performances. But as we got to know each other a little bit more, we started hanging out and inviting each other to birthday parties like this. And we had to take a mini road trip halfway up the state to go to a camp meeting where we were invited to sing. It was in the middle of the woods, and we were in a cabin without any Wi-Fi.
1998.
Oh, wow.
And then Johannes?
She's
October 20.
Paris.
Band fiddle.
What?
It forced us to talk to each other and interact, so that was fun. But Mount Hermon is really the place that we became close. And from then on, it was a lot more mini road trips to different schools and to different churches. Through more practice and performance, we became closer as a group, as singing groups usually do. We also pulled off a lot of things like this, which was super fun. At the end of the year, it was time to say bye to Paris and Fidel, which was super sad. But then came sophomore year, where we got 3 new people. Guyan, our bass, Bennett, our baritone, and Lydia, our pianist. This year was a bit different because we already knew each other, and instead of just hanging out at practice, we started hanging out outside of practice.
Wow! Johanna! Wow, Johanna!
I know this all sounds very obvious, like duh, you would do that as a group, but it was very different because I felt like I had a family on campus. We continued singing at different churches and schools and having a great time together, to the point where Doc didn't understand many of our jokes. And of course, we continued practicing because we still sang together. Even though sometimes practice would become a little bit silly. We even tried dancing while singing. Doc was disappointed we couldn't. We got to sing at the Calistoga Tractor Parade, which was a highlight of our year, because that was super fun.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle, 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 jingle. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Like I said, we started hanging out a lot more outside of practice and going places like Albion together, Patrick's house, so that we could go to Yosemite the next day. It felt really nice to have a family that I could depend on and could have fun with in a place that I didn't really feel like was home. But they really made it feel like home. Doc even got to try boba with us for the first time, I think. He had a very interesting experience. We continued to minister through music, which is how we met in the first place, but doing so with people that felt like family to me was a whole more meaningful experience.
Sweet Lord,
couldn't stop singing this song. It's Doc's solo. Come on. Having a family like them on campus literally made me feel so much better. Because feeling alone is never a good feeling, obviously. We became so close, we came up with this phrase. That this bond cannot be broken. Or you die. And then we proceeded to drink out of the same cup.
If it is broken,
Except for Bennett, he drank out of a straw.
Everyone, it won't be broken.
So, we better not break that bond, am I right? As the year came to an end, we started going on a lot more spontaneous trips together, knowing it was our last hurrah, essentially. Then came graduation. Sabrina graduated, Chelsea graduated, and Doc decided to retire this year, which meant no more octet. It was a sad conversation to have. Doc was really the person that made PUC a home away from home for me, and I'll always be thankful to him for that. Just because octet ended didn't mean that we stopped being there for each other. We came to each other's graduations the next year, and I must admit that next year without them was really hard to adjust. But knowing that this group of people still wanted to hang out even though we were miles apart from each other made it even more special to me. Though we're moving on with our lives, going to graduate school, getting jobs, it makes me happy to know that I had them in college and will continue to have them throughout my life. I didn't know that the singing group that I would join would become a family like this. But the one thing that I'm taking away from Octet isn't just my family. It's how to minister through music. Doc always told us it's not about you, it's not about performing. It's about singing these words from the heart so that others may experience God. This is something that I will continue to remember whenever I do music. The songs that Doc chose have a very special meaning to me, not just because I sang it with my family, but because of the words that are in these songs. They bring reassurance and comfort. I will always be thankful that I got a chance to be an octet, and for the family that I got from it.